Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. Before we begin, let me introduce some members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Simone Freeman. She's Deputy Town Attorney. To her left is Matt Collado, Principal Planner in the Planning Department. To his left is Liam Trotta, who is an environmental planner. And to his left is Sabrina Butita, who's a Senior Environmental Analyst with the Department of Environment and Waterways. You're here this evening seeking relief from the town zoning ordinance. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a Board of Appeals to act as a relief valve, so that persons can seek relief without the expense of legal proceedings. The most common kinds of applications before this board are area variances. Area variances deal with dimensions of lot area, frontage, height, setbacks, and parking reductions. New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following 5 criteria when evaluating area variances. When you come to the podium, do your best to present your application, and please use these 5 criteria. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. This board also has the authority to grant special exceptions, also known as a special use permit or conditional use permit. This is a use that is permitted by zoning, but under specific conditions designed to ensure compatibility with the surrounding area and the overall zoning plan. All of the general and specific requirements are met, this board must approve the application. If they are not, this board must deny it, unless they request variances. At that point, the 5 considerations and balancing tests shall be applied. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions that relate to the variances. Cases will be called in the order that they were advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Collado, and then you will be given the opportunity to explain to the board why the variance is needed. Again, please address the 5 considerations. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. Please organize your thoughts and keep your remarks factual, related to the case, as well as the variances being sought. Then we will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to address your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all hearings are closed, the board will review cases and decide some of them, and others will be decided at a later time. There are 3 ways you can find out about your case. The first is you can wait until after the public hearing, but there is no guarantee that the board will act on your case tonight. Second way is to check the website after 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the third way is applicants can wait and be notified by mail. After the case is closed, no additional information or testimony can be submitted. I believe we have 1 adjournment this evening. Case 19477, Louis Matera. Is anyone here for that application? That case is going to be heard on April 14th. All right, and that's it. You're up, Matt.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The first case on the agenda is case 19486, Christine Brunquell. Location is 41 Forest Avenue in Nesconset. It's located on the east side of Forest Avenue, 150 feet south of Magnolia Avenue. Property is owned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 10 feet, reduce total side yards from 28 feet to 25 feet, reduce minimum rear yard setback from 35 feet to 28 feet, increase the max gross floor area of the lot from 30% to 40%, reduce minimum lot area from 10,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet, for a proposed 1,939 square foot, 2-story single-family dwelling.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. We've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Mr. Collado. I don't know if the mics are working or not. I think my hearing aid is working, and I don't seem to hear you very well. Anyway, at first blush, you look at this application and you say, wait a minute, This is on a 50-foot parcel. It really doesn't make sense. Why is the applicant here? Well, we're here because the health department required us to come here. As you know, the health department requires 20,000 square feet per building lot. However, if a parcel of land had been separately taxed since 1981, the health department waives their requirement of 20,000 square feet and says, okay, you can build on the 50 feet. However, we're not building on the 50 feet. We just need your board's approval that we could build on the 50 feet, but we're not. I'm not trying to confuse you. I just want to get to the point, I guess. What we're doing is we're going to build on, we own other lots there, and the total frontage on Forest Avenue is 300 square feet. So we're going to cut that right in half, and we're going to build on 15,000 square feet for each lot. So when you think about it, it's all kind of the rules that the health department set up, which we had to go through and my client had to go see them. So I want to say again, we're not building on 50 by 100, we're building on 150 by 100, and that of course would be 15,000 square feet. So does this create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, or is it a detriment to nearby properties? Just the opposite. Obviously, we're building 5,000 square feet more than our R10 zoning requires. So we think it's a great benefit to the area. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. Again, I told you, we're not building on 50 by 100, we're building on 150 by 100. And before I get to the third criteria, I'd just like to indicate that my clients have done a tremendous amount of work at the property, and you say, well, they're not allowed to do any work. Well, the work they did was to clear the property of, I guess, thousands of tons of various debris that these two owners had left, not my clients, had left there over the years, which included almost a dumpster full of glass. What kind of glass? Plate glass, window glass, all kinds of glass. Not to mention cars, and the most important thing, I don't know if anybody remembers, but there was a pig put on the roof of the former owner's house, and I think the history of that was he got it from Wall Street, and he put it right on the top of the roof, and of course all of that has been removed. So my clients have done pretty much of a service for the neighborhood in the sense that it was really a dangerous place to walk into. Whether the requested variance is substantial, it's just the opposite. It's insubstantial, and it's 5,000 more square feet for each building plot that we propose. Whether the variance would have an impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district, I think not. Under the new codes, not only are we 5,000 square feet larger than we would be required to build on, but also the new cesspools that the health department requires are very environmentally friendly. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, again, I think you can look at it and say, in this situation, maybe the difficulty might have been created by the health department rules, but we're not building on 50 by 100. We're building on 150 by 100. We're building on on, I don't know if you have this survey. If you don't, I'll have it handed up.
We
Vinnie,
only have the one, I think.
you have it?
We have the one, we don't have the adjacent lot.
Okay, so I'll hand this up because this is what we're building. And additionally, we have a letter from one of the neighbors. And, yeah, bring that up. So that's my case in a nutshell. It's not often that I have a developer come in and say, I want to build 5,000 square feet more than what the zoning requires. And I guess we could have come in with 3 lots, but that's not what my client wants to do. So I don't know if the board has any questions. I tried to be as clear as possible with this.
I guess the only question I would have is, how do we, you're asking for the ability to build on that one, but it's for that application.
Right, I think the way it could be done is, and you could check with council, is grant the application subject to additional lots be added to each, to that property, so that we end up with 150 foot frontage. I don't know, Matt, do you have a better idea? Or?
I mean, I'm not the attorney. The only thing about conditions is I don't want it to, like, the health department to say that we approved it, but subject to something different. I mean, if it's put on the record that that's your ultimate goal, that's your proposal, I mean, we're,
You can add property to it to make it comply, as long as the Department of Health is gonna be okay.
I can't hear you,
Yeah.
Simone.
Oh, sorry. I said can you hear me? Is this working? I said you can add property to it to make it comply. I'm not sure whether or not the Department of Health will be okay with that. So I see that as a reasonable condition. Like you said, the Department of Health needs to be okay with it.
We could put a covenant, I mean, we could,
We've had-
you
we've
could
had
make a
issues-
condition, that's probably the best. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only concern for you.
Well, does anyone else have any questions? We can talk about that after.
okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Matt?
yeah, just to reiterate, we understand that it's for health department purposes, and we don't have objections with the understanding that it is for health department purposes, and your ultimate plan is the 150 by 100 lot, 2 of them, so.
All right.
I mean, it's set on the record, that's your proposal, that's how we're reviewing it, so I feel like that helps.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application, you want to come up?
Neighboring property.
Oh, you got, Mike, and state your name and address and spell your last name for the record.
Last name is spelled Farooq. Full name is Mohammed Shahrukh Farouk. Address is 36. Yep. Shahrukh. After that, I could come and give it to you in a minute. 36 Sawanica Avenue, neighboring property. In favor of this proposal, as the neighboring property will clean up the neighborhood as well as make the area look much nicer. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard? Come on up.
I'm also a neighbor, live right next door to Mohammed. My name is James Helfrich, last name Helfrich. Also in favor of them building. As you guys know, it's been a,
Guys, can you be quiet? We're having a really tough time hearing with all the noise. Thank you.
the area they're talking about has been a dumping ground for years.
Just, you need his name again? Or you're good?
James. It's been a dumping ground for years. Bamboo, super invasive. There was a fire in the past from neglect, people dumping garbage, throwing cigarettes. So I think if they build houses, I think it's going to be a wonderful thing for the neighborhood. That's pretty much it.
Anyone else? Mr. Tramarko, did you want to come back up? I don't think it's necessary. Okay. Need a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Case closed. Thank you.
The next case is case 19487, Nicole Hildebrand, Location is 286 Southern Boulevard in Nesconset. It's on the west side of Southern Boulevard, 443 feet north of Town Line Road. Property is owned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 41 for a proposed 1,152 square foot second floor addition. And we need the affidavit of, we're good? Are you the property owner?
No, I'm a contractor.
Is the property owner here? He just
Right,
has to let
Jamie and
you.
Nicole.
He just has to let you give you the authority to speak.
Thank you.
He could speak on my behalf. Oh, my name?
Yeah.
Jamie Santiago, 286 Southern Boulevard, Nesconset.
Are you Nicole Hildebrand?
She's right there.
Oh, she's here. We need you first.
I'm Nicole Hildebrand, and I'm going to let him speak on my behalf. Okay.
We apologize. So basically, I mean, we're looking, my name, Brian Zullo, Z-U-L-L-O, contractor. So basically, we were looking to put a rear dormer on the back of the house, and the existing house is too close to the property line. So we just, asking to, continue across. And actually, the rear of the house, we actually stayed in 2 feet from one of the further areas. So we are, because the main part of the back of the house was 2 feet in. So we are further in from the rear, from the original house. If we were to do the footprint follow up, we would have been too far out, 2 more feet. So we stayed in to try to keep everybody happy. It's an existing house there. The homeowners are actively working with the Board of Health right now to get everything for the grants to do all the septic. We know we have to upgrade that, and basically that was it.
Anyone on the board?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Case closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Everyone, when you come up to the podium, thank you, you're done. If you could just please slowly and clearly state your name and spell your last name and your address. We have to have that information on the record so the court reporter knows who's speaking and puts it on the record. So sorry, but we're having some issues with our technology tonight, so just talk nice and loud.
The next case is case 19488, Kyle and Michaela Negro. Location is 124 New York Avenue in Smithtown. It's on the southwest corner of New York Avenue and Waverly Avenue. Property owned R10. The request is a variance to add to a lawful nonconforming structure, reduce minimum front yard setback on Waverly Avenue from 25 feet to 19 feet for a proposed 140 square foot roof over deck.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Nigro, N-I-G-R-O, the owner of 124 New York Avenue, Smithtown.
Good evening. My name's Dennis Oliver, 924 Newbridge Road, Belmore, New York. I'm the architect for Mr. Nigro. I'm here this evening to seek permission to construct a front roofed-over deck going out 6 feet from the front of the house that faces New York Avenue. Unfortunately, we have a non-conforming structure. House was built in the mid-50s, and the front yard on Waverly Avenue is only 19.3. We're required to have 25. We're requesting a reduction of 5.7 feet for that, so that we can build a porch facing New York Avenue, so it'll be flush with the end of the house, rather than having to step it in, because the house needs some curb appeal. Right now, it's very flat. It was built a very long time ago. We're looking to add a front porch so Mr. Nigro and his family can have a place to sit, enjoy the afternoon. This porch will in no way interfere with the clear sight triangle of that corner. It will not block anyone's view. The The driveway for the people next door is on the other side of the property, so that's not blocking anything. And there are 5 other houses in the area that have side yards similar or even less than what we're requesting. We have 98 New York Avenue, 133 New York Avenue, 12 Waverly, 18 Waverly, and 19 Waverly. So within a 200-foot radius, there are houses that have significant setback problems with porches that are greater than what we're asking for. Using the 5 points, this will not produce an undesirable effect to the neighborhood, as several of the houses, like most of the houses, have porches on it. And this is a positive for my client. It'll increase the value of his property. The variance required, it's not, well, it could be substantial, because we're asking for 19 feet where 25 is required on that Waverly Avenue side. But that's just so we can build with the end of the house. It's an appearance thing. It'll look a lot better rather than stepping it in and making it meet the 25 feet. As far as an alternate method to do this, we could build a smaller porch, but then there's no place to sit up front and watch the kids play in the yard. So again, you know, it's not something that really is going to increase the appearance of the house that much. And whether or not it's self-created, the house was non-conforming. So we're kind of stuck with what we have. No matter what we do to it, it's going to need some type of variance on that. In addition, I have a consent letter signed by 7 of the surrounding property owners stating that they have no objection to this variance being granted. If the board has any questions.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Heard on this application? Entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Too.
The next case is case 19489, Felicia Pesman. Location is 588 North Country Road in St. James. It's on the east side of North Country Road, 719 feet north of Oakfield Road. Property zoned R43. The request is a special exception to permit temporary living quarters for a family member.
Good evening, Chairman and Board. My name is Timothy Manning, M-A-N-N-I-N-G.
Sorry, do you have the affidavits of mailing, posting, the green cards, all that stuff?
Yes, we do.
We'll need that, please.
Oh, sure.
And we would need Felicia first.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're an attorney. Are you an attorney?
Yes.
Oh, then we do not need it.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Do I need to fill out any kind of notice, or is that okay? All right.
Just the affidavits.
Yeah. You have the proof of mailing, the affidavits? Sorry. One second.
Looks like they got. Should make sure it's filled out right. Do you have the affidavit? So these are receipts from the billing department.
Does that not include the affidavit mailing? Okay. Sorry, right here.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, right.
least it's only 1,000,000 degrees. We good? All right, you're all set.
Sorry, forgive me for any inconvenience or delay. My name's Timothy Manning, Manning. Address is 211 Northern Boulevard, St. James, New York, 11780. On behalf of my client, Felicia Pesman, and it's our application for a special exception pursuant to a permit that was previously submitted. My client had originally applied for a permit in November 7th, 2025. Thereafter, which was followed by an inspection where they indicated she needed to apply for a special permit. That has since been done, which was initially dated February 4th. We have handed up to the board copies of the affidavit of posting, the affidavit of mailing, the applicant's copy of the memorandum, along with a copy of the special exception permit. And it's, let me just see, we also submitted to the board all the green and white postmarked receipts, the postcards that she received back, the signed and notarized affidavit of mailing, and affidavit of posting. And it's our position that she has satisfied all of the conditions within the timeline instructions pursuant to the Board of Zoning Appeals. And for those reasons, we would respectfully request the board to approve the special exception to permit a living quarters at her residence.
Okay.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Planning.
We'd prepared a planning advisory report for the board. We reviewed it. The proposal complies with the general criteria and the specific criteria. It's for the resident's parent. The size of the temporary living quarters complies with the maximum permitted size. The floor plan does appear economical and practical to convert back to a single-family use. And then the last criteria is really something that they have to comply with once they're granted approval. So we do recommend approval.
Thank you. Sabrina.
No, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Case closed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, board. Appreciate it.
The next two cases kind of go together. Do you want me to
Yep. You want to read them together?
read them together? Okay. So the first case is case 19490, Kismet Homes. The location is Carl Avenue in Smithtown. This is parcel 1. It's on the west side of Carl Avenue, 297 feet north of West Main Street. Property zone central business. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum lot area from 5,000 square feet to 4,730 square feet. Reduce minimum road frontage from 40 feet to 37 feet. Reduce minimum lot frontage at setback line from 50 feet to 37 feet. Reduce minimum side yard setback from 5 feet to 3 feet for a proposed 1,200 square foot, 2-story, 2-family dwelling. Reduce minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 3 feet to 2 feet for a proposed 428 square foot detached garage. Reduce minimum width of a drive aisle from 20 feet to 10 feet. Reduce minimum parking setback to a property line from 6 feet to 0. And then case 19491, Kismet Homes, locations Carl Avenue in Smithtown. This would be parcel number 2. It's on the west side of Carl Avenue, 260 feet north of West Main Street. Property zone central business. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum lot area from 5,000 square feet to 4,796 square feet. Reduce minimum road frontage from 40 feet to 37 feet. Reduce minimum lot frontage at setback line from 50 feet to 37 feet. Reduce minimum side yard setback from 5 feet to 3 feet for a proposed 1,200 square foot, 2-story, 2-family dwelling. reduce minimum distance from any lot line from the rear yard from 3 feet to 2 feet for proposed 428 square foot detached garage, reduce the minimum width of a drive aisle from 20 feet to 10 feet, and reduce the minimum parking setback to a property line from 6 feet to 0.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Carmine Grasso from Cataldo Grasso Architects, office at 14 Carl Avenue in Smithtown. I submitted the mailing receipts and the posting and mailing affidavits to the planning department this afternoon. So I represent Kismet Homes in their application for variances to construct two-story, two-family homes.
Sorry, Carmine. Do you have a power of attorney, or you?
I represent the clients right here.
Okay, we just need him first.
I didn't think we needed that for a commercial.
Yeah, well, if he's a principal of the entity.
Good evening. Art Heinrich, Kismet Homes, Vice President, 155 Northern Boulevard, St. James.
And spell your last name, please.
Heinrich.
All right. Would you like Mr. Grasso to speak on your behalf?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, as I was saying, I represent Kismet Homes in their application to have variances for constructing two-family, two-story homes on adjacent lots on Carl Avenue in Smithtown. This application was before the board on September 27th, 2016, and received an approval. The reason we're here tonight is that the cost to renew the previous approval far exceeds the cost of a new hearing. So we're coming back to apply for what we had applied for before. We are requesting one slight modification in the previous application. We're requesting to reduce the setbacks for the garages at the rear of the site from 3 feet to 2 feet from the property lines in the rear yard. The reason we're doing this is the garage doors will face each other to a common driveway which goes down the middle of the site. We wanted to provide a larger separation between the garages. We have a little over 29 feet now the way we have it. We feel that's a little more safe when if a car is backing in and out of the garage, being able to pull in without hitting the garages. So that's the main reason why we're making that change. All of the previously granted requests remain the same. If you'd like, I can go over them. I mean, Matt had already spoken about what they are all for. I think it's pretty evident on the plans. So I'm going to just go over the area variance considerations then at this point. So whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. It will not. The parking lots on two sides of the property. One side is an office building with a parking lot, and that parking lot wraps around the back part of the property. On the south side of the property is a commercial business, so it's not going to affect that. We actually feel that it will enhance the character of the neighborhood because it's going to provide needed housing close to Main Street businesses and the train station. Number two is whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method feasible. No, it can't. The lot area and the frontage variances are required to develop the lots based on the size and shape of the lot. Sorry. Go ahead. Am I going too fast? Oh. Okay. You want me to? Okay. Oh, sorry. All right. Yeah. So we don't feel that the benefits sought can be achieved by another method because the lot area and the frontage variances are required to develop the lots because the lots are substandard in size. The setback variances are necessary to construct the proposed dwellings and garages. Number three is whether the requested area variance is substantial. No, all the setback variances requests are very minimal. Number four, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. It will not. The development is in conformance with health department standards. We already have health department approval for this application. The energy usage is going to be typical for residential use, and all the stormwater runoff will be contained on site. And finally, number five, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. We don't feel that it was because any development of these lots would require variances due to the size and the shape of the properties. So in conclusion, as I said earlier, we're only seeking approval for that which has been previously approved with one minor modification. Again, just to reiterate, this proposal has received Health Department approval already, and it had received Board of Site Plan Review approval on May 9th of 2017 when we originally submitted it. So with that, we respectfully request your approval of this application, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Question I would have is the garages go with each unit?
Yes, so you have two buildings with two garages. We have 4 parking spaces for each unit, for each house. 2 of them would be in a garage and 2 would be outside parking spaces.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Like Carmine said, they're basically applying for the same requests that they received approval for in the past, with the exception of the garage variances, which we don't have any objection to. And we also, just reiterate what you said about the garages. They should be used for, residential purposes only, for the people on the site.
Okay. Sabrina,
No, thank
is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you have the next ones? The next case is case 19492, Thomas R. Cease. Location is 27 Hay Street in Esconset. It's located on the south side of Hay Street, 105 feet east of Jackson Street. Property is owned R10. The request is a variance to increase the max height of an accessory structure from 15 feet to 17 feet. Increase the max occupancy of the rear yard from 750 square feet to 864 square feet for an existing 864 square foot pavilion.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Thomas Arcese, 27 Hayes Street, Nesconset, New York, 11767. We respectfully appear before the board this evening seeking your favorable consideration for a variance. This request is modest in scope and carefully designed to remain consistent with the character of the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed pavilion is located entirely within the rear yard and is intended to provide a safe and functional outdoor space for family gatherings with our children and grandchildren. The structure is being constructed with high-quality materials and architectural elements that complement and enhance the existing home. Rather than detract from the neighborhood, the pavilion will maintain and support surrounding property values. Under the 5 statutory criteria, the character of the neighborhood, the proposed pavilion is fully consistent with the residential character and aesthetic of the neighborhood. Accessory structures of similar appearance function exist within the community. An open design ensures the structure remains visually unobstructed. Are there any feasible alternatives? Practical alternatives do not exist without the requested variance. The pavilion's placement is constrained by Board of Health requirements, including a 20-foot setback related to the septic system, as well as the fixed location of the home's rear sliding door, providing direct access to the backyard. Relocating the structure elsewhere on the property is not feasible while maintaining compliance with these requirements. Is it substantial of a request? The relief requested is minimal and represents only the amount necessary to allow reasonable use of the property. All required side and rear yard setbacks for the R10 zoning district have been maintained. The requested increases in height and occupancy are limited and proportionate to the intended residential use. Physical or environmental impact. The pavilion's open-sided design preserves light, air, and side lights for neighboring property. The structure will not create any issues or concerns for the neighborhood. Self-created. While the pavilion is intended for family enjoyment, the need for relief arises primarily from existing site conditions and structural limitations of the property. The configuration of the rear entrance and steps necessitates additional height to ensure safe and practical access to the rear yard. Without the requested relief, the pavilion header could create a safety concern for the individuals entering from the rear sliding door. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Be heard on this application. Motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
The next case is case 19493, David Benfield. Location is 650 Comac Road in Comac. It's on the northwest corner of Henry Street and Crooked Hill Road. Property is owned office business. The request is a variance to increase the max height of a retaining wall from 6 feet to 14 feet to permit environmentally sensitive lands to be altered for slopes greater than 15% for proposed 14-foot retaining walls.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the applicant, Brian Kennedy, partner with Forcelli Di Tirana, offices at 100 Motor Parkway. The applicant's before you seeking minor relief. As members of this board may or may not know, the subject location is Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital. It has existed at this site for several decades. They provide cutting-edge cancer treatment to patients at the site, including surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and clinical research. Throughout the time that this building has existed at the site, it's been served by a small on-site sewage treatment plant. The applicant is now in the process of connecting to the Suffolk County Sewer District 18 over in Hauppauge and will no longer need the on-site treatment plant. That treatment plant is located directly north of the building, closest to the northern entrance. The applicant is proposing to, when removing that treatment plant, install parking in that entire area. There are currently 427 parking stalls on site. With this addition, there'll be a total of 471 parking stalls. As you guys know, can imagine, anyone entering this facility or utilizing it is in desperate need of some treatment. The addition of these stalls will be closest to the building at the northern entrance, minimizing the length that these patients will have to travel. Now, the proposed parking lot expansion in the rear of the site will push into the steep slope area. This applicant was before this board in 2016 and secured relief to put a retaining wall of 9 feet. What we're seeking is a minor increase into what this board had previously granted. There's no undesirable change in the neighborhood. This facility exists. This will improve the existing parking condition at the site and better serve the patients utilizing it. There's no other portion of the site where we can provide additional parking at this time. The requested relief is not substantial. As I indicated, this board has previously granted comparable relief to this site. They've also granted comparable relief for a similar user at 500 Comac Road. And while this is self-created, that should not be dispositive in this case. I do have Eric Jeter and Chris Butkos from Hayduck Engineering who prepared the plans if this board has any questions for them. Otherwise, I'll welcome any questions that you have. Hayduck Engineering.
Good. It looks like from the plans you're maintaining the setback. There's a 50-foot front yard setback. It won't encroach.
That is correct. We are maintaining it.
Anyone else have any questions?
No, thank
No,
you.
thank you.
No, thank you.
Application. Entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
The next case is case 19494, Sandro Famia. Location is 15 Comanche Lane in Comac, north side of Comanche Lane, 410 feet east of Seminole Drive. Property is owned R10. Request is a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 46 feet for a proposed 455 square foot rear deck.
Good evening, Diana Laspisa with Morano Expediting Services, P.O. Box 39, Bethpage, New York, 11714. I'm here on behalf of the property owner, Sandro Femia, and we're requesting permission to construct an irregular rear deck measuring approximately 21.6 foot by 21.1 foot, which requires relief from the minimum rear yard setback requirement of 50 feet to 46 feet proposed. On October 31st of 2024, the home suffered a significant fire damage. In February of 25, our office submitted an application to the building department to repair all fire-related damage and to reconstruct the existing rear deck that had been damaged in the fire. During the review process, we were informed that the previously existing deck had not been permitted and that a variance would be required to reconstruct it like in kind. In order to avoid delaying the repair work, particularly since the homeowner's temporary housing situation was time-sensitive, the owners agreed to reduce the size of the deck so that it would comply with the zoning requirements. And based on that revision, a permit for the repair work was issued in April of 25, permit number 250578. At this point, the repair work is substantially complete, and the project has reached a stage where the deck is to be reconstructed. After further consideration and reviewing the layout of the site, the owners realized that the reduced depth of the deck significantly limits the usability of the space, particularly where the deck wraps around the rear of the home. The reduced size functions more as a narrow walkway and does not allow adequate space for typical outdoor furniture such as tables and chairs. So for that reason, the owners are requesting approval to reconstruct the deck in the same general size and configuration as what previously existed. The prior deck was constructed more than 20 years ago by a contractor hired by the homeowner, and the owner was unaware that the proper permits had not been obtained until our office filed the application for the fire repair work. The deck is accessed from the kitchen and it is flush with the first floor elevation of the home, which is approximately 3.5 feet above grade. And rear decks are generally more common and functional on homes with higher first floor elevations, making outdoor access more practical. The requested variance represents a relatively modest relief from the zoning requirement as it seeks an 8% reduction in the required rear yard setback. We believe this request cannot reasonably be achieved through an alternative design without significantly reducing the depth and functionality of the deck. In addition, the original deck existed for over 2 decades without any known negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood or adjacent properties, and no trees or shrubs will need to be removed as part of this construction, so the proposed deck will not create any adverse impact. With that being said, we submit that the requested variance will continue to not produce any negative impact on the neighborhood or environment or neighboring properties, and we would respectfully request that the board act favorable on the application.
Thank you. Is there any questions from anyone on the board?
No, thank you.
Matt?
No thanks.
No, thank you.
The name is Donald Dyer, D-Y-E-R. Dyer, D-Y-E-R. Donald, 14 Seminole Drive, Comac, New York. Okay, so I'm the homeowner of 14 Seminole Drive in Comac, an adjoining property located at 15, an adjoining property located at 15 Comanche Drive. In regards to the rear yard setback variance requested for the proposed deck, I'm objecting to the variance request due to privacy concerns because the topography of the deck will be elevated and it'll be up almost like a stage. So in relation to my property. So I respectfully request that the deck be constructed according to the zoning laws that are in existence and not be granted the variance. As far as another variance that should have been put in, this tree planting that I'd just like to point out, the power lines located between our two properties in the rear of each yard have been an ongoing problem due to the hedges growing up into the wires. I've been threatened with legal action every time I try and cut the hedges to keep them below the wires. At this time, the hedges are no longer below the power lines due to the fact that they were relocated further towards 15 Comanche. The town of Smithtown should be made aware that the planting of the pine trees directly under the newly relocated power lines under the permitting process that is still ongoing. I'd like to make the board aware of the death of a maintenance worker who was electrocuted while trying to trim branches around the power lines. This death occurred approximately 5 years ago on Father's Day, approximately 2 blocks from my location. PSE&G rules require no planting in the easements under the power lines. I respectfully request the pine trees be moved out from under the power lines to avoid a potential problem, so that there is no confusion by the town of Smithtown Building Department. Allowing this newly planted pine trees to remain under the power lines might be misconstrued as giving permission, although this is in violation of the PSE&G rules. If the dangerous situation is not your realm of responsibility, I would just request that you please forward it to the proper agency within the town of Smithtown. Because the hedges are so close to the fence.
Can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
It's not part of this variance, so it really doesn't.
No, but what I'm saying is a variance should have been put in.
I understand,
Which
but
is
if
which
it's-
is not which is not.
It's not under the jurisdiction of the town of Smithtown if it is in an easement. Is that correct? Correct.
Yeah. not-
So,
I mean,
you're,
the permit-
you're filling the record with something that has absolutely nothing to do with the variance, which is.
No, but I'm saying there should have been a variance put in for planting these trees under the power line. There was
you
no
would bring
variance
that
put
would be
in.
brought up with the town board. They
Okay,
handle-
so can we do perhaps a referral? Can you do a referral to the proper? That's what I'm asking.
Planning can make a note, but I don't think that, I don't know who we would contact because town of Smithtown doesn't deal with that. If it's on, I don't even think
it's not-
plantings.
If it's
I
not
mean,
in ours, if
the
it's not a
problem, the problem is he's requesting, which I've had to do 3 different times, he's requesting that I give access to the tree cutters to come in on my property to cut these
You're kind of
things.
clouding the record, and it has nothing to do with the variance, and it makes it difficult for us to kind of weed through what we're supposed to be looking at. So if you want, you can visit the planning department and bring it up, because it really has nothing to do with this. If you want to talk about the deck and the reduction in the setback, that's perfectly fine,
But if the building department is there, okay, for the variance and for the open permit that you're dealing with, and he sees these trees under the power lines, which is, in other words, you're not supposed to be doing this, why isn't the building department
because it's
telling
not
him
it's
to
not under the
to remove these things? I
because
don't
it's not a
understand.
matter of zoning. You're only here if you don't comply with the town's zoning code. What PSE&G's requirements are, that's a separate entity, a separate party. They may have rules that say you can't put plantings under there, but he would have to go to PSE&G, and I don't know if they have some relief valve for it, but that's who he'd have to go to.
So who are you saying I need to see?
PSE&G, whoever's responsible for the
That's-
power lines.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I'm dealing with, because PSE.
But that's not this board. This is the town of Smithtown. PSE&G is a separate entity.
I understand that.
So
I understand
then
that.
your comments about the plantings are not really relevant to what's before the board tonight.
But if it's an illegal situation, shouldn't be so, in other words, and there's already a death occurred due to I'm not looking for you to take care of the problem. I'm looking for you to do a referral to the proper
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is we're the Board of Zoning Appeals. We deal with zoning-related matters. If you want to go to the building department or the planning department, maybe they could refer you to them, but it's really not something that the town of Smithtown,
So you can't do the referrals?
no, we don't have a mechanism to do that. We vote on zoning-related setbacks, area variances, use variances or special exceptions.
Even though there's a situation where there should have been a variance for doing this particular planting?
No, that's not how it works. A variance with zoning has to do with distances for structures. We don't really get involved with trees and plantings, other than we can require them for relief, but there's no requirement that says that we can say where they can and cannot go on your property. But if you want to stop by, I mean, maybe public safety is a good place to start. It'd probably be best. I'd love to help you. I have no idea how you deal with that, because it's a PSE&G issue.
All right,
But we did note your comments about the setback.
okay.
I think was there someone else who wanted to be heard? I believe we had another letter that we received. No? No. Okay, you can come on back up.
Just to elaborate, there's nothing that prohibits anybody from planting trees. There are, in some instances on properties, planting easements, and if you're removing plants or planting within those easements, then those are regulated by the town and by the building department and the planning department. But there's nothing on this survey that indicates that there's a planting easement. So I would invite him to either contact PSEG, which was unsuccessful, and maybe code enforcement. I don't know if they have more of a jurisdiction on that, but it definitely isn't part of, it's part of the board. Did you say you had a letter as well?
Yeah, somebody sent a letter in, one of the neighbors. We're going to make it part of the record. Did you
Oh,
want a
okay.
copy of it?
Can I
Sure.
take a look at it?
No, there's two different ones.
This is the handwritten letter, I got it here.
You can take it. I have, all right, I think we need a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Oh, did you want to respond to that letter?
Can I read it real quick?
Sure.
Or? Oh, okay. So I don't know. It seems like they were going to show up having something to do with the boundary line agreement. But I can say, because I was kind of forewarned, there seems to be a fencing issue going on between the applicant and the neighbor to the east, which is not relevant to this application either, and it's not the part where we're seeking a variance. We're seeking it from the rear yard. So I just want to make that point.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Case closed. Thank you. Have a good night.
Next case is case 1-18545, 521 Property Management LLC. Location is 521 West Jericho Turnpike in Smithtown. It's on the north side of West Jericho Turnpike, 143 feet west of Meadow Road. Property is owned R21. The request is a variance to modify certificate of existing use from retail to medical office.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. We've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Mr. Trotter, I guess. I'll try not to take a lot of your time, but I do have to go back in history, actually to 1992, when Howard Packman presented a case to this board. The only member of the board that was on at that time and is still there is my Ms. Janadeo, and I say that because maybe she has a memory of what happened. It was 35 years ago. So anyway, I bring this up because the board does need some history. And this is the history. Howard Packman came in and represented a company that wanted to put a healthcare center. It wasn't like what's there today. It was basically sports medicine, and it was Dr. Mango. I don't know if you remember him or not, but he was well known at the time and very well into sports medicine. Anyway, so Howard comes up and presents his case, and the problem was that Chateau Rose, I don't know if you remember Chateau Rose, but it went into foreclosure. It became a really bad eyesore. And there was various attempts to keep it clean and so forth. Well, anyway, it lasted that way, unoccupied, for at least a couple of years. Anyway, Howard comes in and he says to the board, look, really what we need here is something that will not only benefit my client, but also benefit the community. So I'd like to put in a sports medicine facility and change it from, which was restaurant, to a medical facility. Now, the situation was that they needed to do this pretty fast after that layover of a couple of years, because the Chateau Rose was going to be foreclosed. Anyway, we submitted the whole set of minutes that happened when Mr. Packman presented the case. So, and that was back in 1992. And the building that we represent is right next door. And what we're asking to do is much the same as what this board granted. Actually, it is the same, which this board granted in 1992. We're asking this board to change the existing non-conforming use from retail, which absolutely makes no sense there. If you're familiar with the site, there's the medical center on the corner. There's offices on the other side of this particular building. The building has been well kept and fixed during the period of time which they tried to do retail, but retail just it doesn't work in that area. And it really doesn't make sense, because who would want to drive up into that site and buy furniture? The only company that was in there at the time was a furniture company. And they didn't do too well. They were out very fast. So again, we just want to do what this board allowed Mr. Packman to do, and allow a medical use there. Now, there's some question of whether a medical use would be allowable there. Questions of flow. I'm
Can
sorry.
you guys keep it down in the audience? The court reporter has to get all of this on the record. So if you have to speak, just go in the other room. Somebody's phone is going off. Thank you.
Okay. So, in pursuance of that, Carmine Grasso, the architect on this case, also Carmine presented the first case before the board a while ago. But with the board's consideration, I'd just like to bring Carmine up, and he can give you the background of what was approved already, so that the board does not have concerns about health department and so forth. So, Carmine, if you wouldn't mind. I think Carmine is old enough that he can do rambling rather than me question him. He was in court.
Good evening. My name is Carmine Grasso from Cataldo Grasso Architects, office at 14 Carl Avenue in Smithtown. Yes, as Mr. Tramarco said, I was here back in, I believe it was July of 2021. We presented a case to the board to change the, make a modification of the certificate of existing use, which had permitted a retail use on the first floor and apartment on the second floor for this project. Our application was to convert the first floor to medical office use. When we went through this application, we had beforehand had done modifications to the building, which had all been through the planning department, building department, and had all been approved. So all the modifications to the building have actually been done. The building beforehand was in bad shape. It's actually a nice looking building that unfortunately is vacant on the first floor. So when we met with the board, some of the things that they needed us to do was they needed health department approval for the medical office change of use, DEC approval because we're in the DEC zone, and LWRP approval from the town. We received LWRP approval from the town. Just give me 1 second. I have it all right here. So we received the LWRP approval from the town on September 8th of 2021. We then filed with the health department. The health department reviewed the plans, and the last comments they had given to us at one point was that they needed DEC approval, and then they needed the CEQA determination and the BZA approval from the town in order for them to issue their approval. We received the DEC approval on August 3rd of 2023, and I have all of these here I could give to you if you need them. And then we got a notice back again from the health department on March 10th of 2025 stating that the only thing that was left for them, that the plans, everything was acceptable. The only thing that was left was to submit a copy of the CEQA determination and planning board / zoning approval from the town upon receipt. So at that point, I gave all that information to the Department of Environment and Waterways because they're the ones that would issue the CEQA determination. I have emails back and forth with Dave Barnes regarding that, and at some point, it was referred over to the town attorney, and the town attorney looked at it, at the application, and said that we shouldn't have been able to file the application for the modification to the CEU, and denied. And then subsequently, I guess on March 3rd of this past year of 2025, the board, actually the meeting was held on February 11th of 2025, and the board denied the application, and that's where we come back to this whole situation we're in now. But we do have all of the approvals that were requested of us from the board previously, and we're just trying to move forward from there.
So I guess what I'm trying to show the board, and that's all in the minutes of the board's approval December 9th, 1992, where this board granted a change from restaurant use to medical use. And I want to indicate that the only reason why we're here and the only reason why we're having trouble with this application, or even when Mr. Packman came in, was because the town, in its wisdom, decided to change the zone. It was neighborhood business. They changed it to R21. Nobody that I know of would want to live in a house on Jericho Turnpike with a medical building on one side, a medical office building, and a medical and an office building on the other side. One final thing is the uses that occurred during this period of, well, I guess even before 1992, in the 80s and the 70s, was a multitude of different uses. There was offices with warehouses. There was Bonds Flooring, who sold flooring and had offices there. I can't remember a couple of other people that ran businesses, had offices, and stored trucks there. So it was a mixed mash of different uses. Now we come to the point where the highest and best use is office building. This board has the power to do it. There's precedence for it in their 1992 decision. So we asked the board for a favorable consideration, and we don't feel that it will be an undesirable change in the character of the area. It is the character of the area. It's office buildings. It's certainly not a one-family house in R21 zoning. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant could be achieved by some other feasible method. No, there really isn't anything other than, build a one-family house. There was the issue of it being a retail use, and I guess we could have said, all right, we'll put some retail sales in there and have offices, but we want to do it the right way, get it done once and for all, and we feel this is the best approach to it. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. Actually, it's not. I mean, you heard Carmine indicate that all other approvals have been gotten. I dare say that even Mr. Barnes and the Department of Environmental Waterways might feel that this is not a secret determination, but I'll let his representative say whatever she's going to say. Whether the proposed variance would have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions. Actually, it would have less of an impact than if it was a one-family house. I think, and Carmine, it really doesn't matter, but I think a one-family house has more flow than an office. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. Yeah, my clients bought the property. They thought they would improve it as offices. They also own the property next door, the old Chateau Rose. What they also plan to do is, in fact, they're doing it now, allowing any excess parking to go on the property, the middle piece, which is the piece that I represent. So we asked the board for its favorable consideration. This has been going on a long time, and the board now has an opportunity, I think, to correct something that really should be corrected. And it's also for the benefit of the town. I've spoken to planning about it. I guess Matt or Liam will have something to say. So we ask the board for its favorable consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone on the board that has any questions on this application?
No, thank you.
Simone, do you have any questions?
Yes. I don't know if it's better for Carmine or for Vinny, but just a couple of things I wanted to clarify. So Carmine had mentioned that the property owner has been undergoing renovations at the property, and that's been going on for the past few years. So it's basically been consistent. It's not that the property's been being upgraded.
No, actually, whatever renovations were done on the building would have already been done and were done with permits, have been
Yeah.
CO'd, everything's all cleared
Yeah,
out.
but you've
So-
been doing that, in other words. That's
Yeah.
what you've been doing with the property
Well,
during this time.
Yes, it's been done for quite a while now.
Okay, So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that you
yeah.
were actively doing renovations during periods of time, so it wasn't like,
The renovation work was actually done prior to us coming to the board. That was all, the site plan and the building renovations were all done prior to coming to the board.
okay. Yeah, no, but you were
yeah.
doing renovations.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that you weren't doing, you were doing renovations. Okay, so that's good. And then I also just wanted to clarify, because you mentioned there was office before. So is it your understanding that the way the code was in the 80s, it treated office and retail use as the same classification, and that there, was always office use at the site as well, in connection with the original use that was approved?
I don't know what was at the site prior to this. I know it was, once the town changed the zoning from NB to residential, there was a certificate of existing use that was given for the retail use in the building.
But there were, there was customary administrative office in connection with everything that was there.
I think what she's trying to say is you never abandoned the office use that
Yeah.
was associated
No.
with
With
the
the
retail.
retail.
No, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was all we wanted. We just wanted to make sure we had that.
And obviously, before the zone change was done, that was a permitted use.
Exactly.
The only comment I have is it was mentioned that an LWRP was done, approved by the coastal consistency was done by the town board. So if this board wishes to grant any approvals, that those conditions also be applied.
He's just basically saying if we grant an approval to mimic the conditions in the LWRP. Sabrina?
No comments.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the case.
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, case closed. Thank you.
The next case is. Wait, sorry. Okay. Good. Next case is 19452 Mike Zellen, location 85 Rhett Court in Comac. It's on the south side of Rhett Court, 215 feet west of Scarlet Drive. Property is owned R6. The request is a variance to allow enclosure of a deck with a 5-foot wood fence. Increase the max distance of a deck from the dwelling unit from 10 feet to 20 feet for an existing 540 square foot deck and existing 5-foot fence enclosure. Reduce minimum rear yard setback from 3 feet to 0 and side yard setback from 3 feet to 1 for an existing 540 square foot deck.
Good evening.
Good evening, Board. I'm here trying to clean up a mess that I inherited, and finally, Mike Zellen, Z-E-L-E-N, 85 Rhett Court. I finally got the Tara Homeowner Association to grant the application, and I provided it with the mailing. We've been here before prior, back in March. There was some incomplete items, and hopefully they're corrected.
Let's find out.
Yeah, just your name.
Right, that's right. I wasn't sure what you wanted to do.
Wait, over here. Yeah, it just
Six.
the date we have.
Just put my name up here. Residing at?
Yep, here and then.
But you can't hear it anymore. Oh, right here? So we're good? So we were just waiting on the letter from the HOA, and their board was okay with it?
So you mentioned that you got approval from the HOA?
Yeah, in the letter that they signed.
Do we have a copy of that? Do you want to? Do you want to give it to the chairman? He might want to take a look first.
What? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyone have any questions?
No comments from planning.
Sabrina?
No comments, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, board, for your consideration.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Can you just please
Want
make
that
sure
letter?
that letter is in the file? Yeah.
Well,
Thanks.
you want to, yeah, it's in there.
All right, as long as I'll find it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
want it, we can pull it out and give it to you.
No.
If it's in the file, it's fine. I'll find it. The next case is case 19478, Terrence Revere Jr. The location is 17 Marlin Court in Smithtown. It's located on the west side of Marlin Court, 553 feet west of Barnes Street. Property is on R10S. The request is a variance to increase the max height of a retaining wall from 6 feet to 8 feet. That's walls A and B. Reduce minimum setback of a 8-foot retaining wall from the property line from 8 feet to 0 for an existing poured concrete retaining walls. That's walls A and B. Reduce minimum setback of a 6-foot fence from an 8-foot retaining wall from 8 feet to 0, walls A and B. Increase the height of a 6-foot fence on top of an 8-foot retaining wall from 6 to 14. That's walls A and B. Reduce the minimum setback of a 2-foot 6-inch retaining wall from the property line from 3 feet to 0. That's walls C and D.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Ralph Elsasser. Elsasser Expediting Services, 1134B Middle Country Road in Selden.
Can we have the applicant first?
And the applicant's here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Terrence Revere, R-E-V-E-R-E, 17 Marlin Court in Smithtown, New York, 11787. And Mr. Elsasser has the ready to go to speak on my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Hi, members of the board. I'm sure there was quite a few photographs that were submitted. Oh, you want my name again? Sure, the last E-L-S-A-S-S-E-R. First name is Ralph. We're good? Okay. Mr. Revere has owned this property since 2016. The wall and the fence was constructed in 2017. And if you look at the topography, the way that property is in the back, slopes down. And if you notice, that is why the retaining wall was put on there, and the fence is not actually on top of the retaining wall. It's like about 8 inches in between it, for safety reasons. He's got young children, and honestly, it would help with runoff. There's no adverse effect with the neighbors in the area. There's no houses behind that house. You've got property. I believe there's a paper road there, and then you got the water authority, I believe, is behind that. So we don't find any adverse effect in the neighborhood. If the structures were built further in, the property is very small to begin with. It's only 1/4 of an acre. He'd have no backyard basically at all. And the board always asks us, was this incurred by the owner? It was. It was for safety reasons also, okay? And he did put it up himself.
So we have several walls here, I guess, that are part of this application. I think we have some letters. There are some concerns about one of the walls. And there are some runoff issues. Have you had any complaints about runoff?
Well, that wall that's up there, it's like in an L shape, in the corner there. That there would prevent the runoff because that's where the property slopes down after that. Okay, but there's no houses directly behind that would affect it. But runoff would happen there if that wasn't there.
Okay. Is there anyone on the board that has any questions?
Can make one more note, Mr. Chairman. Is right actually in the middle of having the house sold, and they got a scheduled closing in the middle of April, and they got 2 young children also, and that was one of the features because they saw what's behind there too.
With the house?
The fact that how it helps them because they wouldn't have to worry because of the way the property is sloped down. So, and they got 2 young children. I believe they're 2 and 5.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
From the audience. Matt, you have anything?
Yeah, so we also received those, there's an email and a handwritten letter from 2 neighbors yesterday. I did forward those concerns to the town engineer yesterday. I haven't received anything back yet. I mean, it's only been 1 day. But I suggest maybe waiting for their comments before proceeding. It seems like the way the property was pitched, it used to pitch to the paper street, so that's where the runoff probably went. Again, I'm not an engineer, but it is possible that the change has shifted where it goes. But again, I'd rather defer to our town engineer to review this and provide any comments for the board's consideration.
It is common for us, because we don't know, is to go to the department that.
My next question is, you said there's other letters from neighbors or people in the area?
Yeah, one at 17 Marlin Court and one at 15 Marlin Court.
He's 17, yeah.
Oh, hold on. 16.
16, okay.
16 and 15.
16 and 15?
Mm-hmm. So obviously, we're going to have to wait until we hear back from the town engineer. Hopefully, he'll get back to us by next meeting.
By the next meeting? Okay. Is there any way we can get copies of those letters?
Of course. You can have mine. I've read them already.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sabrina, did you have anything?
An encroachment comment. The survey indicates that a portion of the existing retaining wall, C, located at the rear of the property line, encroaches onto the adjacent Paper Street, Crawford, to the southwest, and we recommend the applicant contact the Highway Department regarding the encroachment. It's a very minor encroachment.
It's like a tiny little piece of that one.
He's going to remove that. We were aware of that.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm sorry, what, Chair?
Yeah.
Okay, just one quick question. Did anybody look at the before photos with this also, compared to what it is now? It'll be a big difference. It'll
yeah.
kind of enforce our case, that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application? Come on up.
Justin Carey, 11 Marlin Court, Smithtown, New York. Carey, and that's 11 Marlin. Thank you for having me here and letting me speak. I never want to come up and say anything negative that might impact one of my fellow neighbors. We have a very close-knit court, Marlin Court, and I hated to come up here to do this, but this application for variance possible impact is so great that my wife and I felt compelled to come and speak tonight. So thank you for hearing us. My first thing has to do with the detriment to nearby properties. This house at 17 is the highest elevation on Marlin Court. So it is much higher than our other houses. So if you were to add height to the retaining wall and then go from a 6-foot fence to a 14-foot fence, that forced perspective on the rest of us would be incredible. It would make it appear that it's so much taller than it really is because of the elevation of the house already. Also, in our court, Marlin Court, most of the houses do not have trees in them anymore. My wife and I had retained our town trees out front, but most of the other properties don't have them. So you see in each other's yards most of the time, which is not a bad thing. You see everyone else's fences. Everyone has 6-foot fences in the yards. All our neighbors, we chip in and share the fences when they have to be repaired. So this, we would see directly from our house into their yard and see what would appear to me to be a commercial type fence that, you know, when you have that retaining wall with a 14-foot fence, now totally you're talking about 22 feet possibly. Yeah.
This is for what's there. They're not changing.
Okay.
There's no, I don't think, it sounds like you think there's a 14-foot
Yeah.
fence going up. I think this is to legalize the fence that's there.
Okay.
When they submit, you add the height of the wall to the fence for the application, but it's not a 14-foot fence.
Okay, that was unclear. Thank you for that.
Okay,
That's
no
what I want to
problem.
make sure.
Okay.
My other thing is so there's no changes to what's there at all. That's what I'm asking.
They're trying to legalize what is existing.
Okay. My only other question then was just the environmental impact, because my wife and I have been in this house for almost 25 years. Before this house was built, it was a dry sump area. The property was filled in and the house was built on it. We didn't have flooding issues before that. We've had many issues that is not their fault. It comes from hurting above us through our property, and then it goes into the court. But that has changed since that house has been there. The neighbor to the east of him, unfortunately, has lost parts of their property almost 12 to 15 feet twice in the last 2 floods. That water goes right down, and that went into the library that flooded the library down down Old Country Road. One of those, the retaining wall on that side does drain into the neighbor's property. So I think that is something that should be addressed, that the retaining wall drainage itself, the environmental impact adds to one of the issues we have. As well as in front of his house, it's not their fault. That's where the drain is, and often that is clogged, so this causes a major cluster with the water there. My main concern was that I thought it was going to be an elevation, so I appreciate you explaining that. But otherwise, it's just that drainage area that I'm more concerned with, how it impacts the environment.
And we've referred this to the town engineer, who will weigh in so that we know what's going to happen.
All right, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard on this application? Yeah, you can come back.
property neighboring this property, if you look at the photos that John had submitted, okay, this isn't working, I guess so. What I'm saying to you, there is a retaining wall there already that wasn't constructed by Mr. Revere. Okay, so I don't know, how this water is draining into somebody else's property, or if his has got an impact. But his fence, the way it looks like, it's not sitting on top of the retaining wall. It's basically in front of it. So I just wanted to make that clear again. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the report.
Do you need a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Do you want to close but keep the record open?
Actually, we're gonna, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can come back up.
I just wanted to mention, it was mentioned, obviously, there was some issues looking at my house to the east, the gentleman there. That's one of the letters written. I read it quickly, and his first thing is, I'm not objecting to that. The town actually he had built a retaining wall as well, and they kind of like preempted and said, this isn't the code, take it down, and he went and did that. So you'll read that in one of the letters, but the gentleman that had just come up had mentioned the two instances where the one time we had the hurricane a couple years back, and then my son was born on August 24th, so August 19th when we lost Harbor Road and it was crazy storms, that was the other time, when we had 13 inches of rain in a 2.5 hour period. So again,
And our only concern is that we don't want to approve something that's gonna cause an issue with drainage, so we like to have the town engineer take a look at it and just say, no, it's.
and the last item, I'll just interject, the part of the retaining wall, when I had it drafted and put on paper, the engineer asked me to add weep holes, so that there's no drainage currently from my wall. So anything that stays up there doesn't drain down, so I don't know how that would adversely affect the way the water goes. So just wanted to put my 2 cents in with that. And the last, like was mentioned earlier, if you could take a look, when I first moved into the home, a 1/4 acre, obviously it was not privied, and I should have went for the variance and got it legal with you guys, so I apologize for that it's come to this. Like he mentioned, the family that's purchasing my property, they have 2 young kids, and that is a big, like without that, you see the old backyard, there was really no backyard, so it just, it really makes the house, so hopefully we can, get through this, and I'm willing to make whatever revisions need to be made, but it really does make the house, so I appreciate your, taking a look into it and advising.
you.
So, thank you.
We're gonna close the case, but we're gonna leave the record open just for that report. If there's something in it that you don't like, you can request to reopen, and we can reopen the case. Thank you. Motion to close?
Okay, so moved. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? All right, motion carries. Case closed. Thank you.
This was the guy that. The next case is case 19482, Michael Coast, location 11 Marie Crescent in Comac. It's on the south side of Marie Crescent, 244 feet west of Dewey Road. Property is zoned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 9 feet, reduce total side yards from 28 to 25 feet for an existing 750 square foot rear deck, reduce minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 2 feet to 0 feet for an existing 93 square foot shed.
Hi. Do you want to make sure I have all the correct paperwork this time?
Looks like they're on top of it.
He assured me everything should be there, so.
Can I see is this the one where you submitted the mailings, you came in the next day?
We had the mail.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's in the file? Can you
let me
just
see that folder
please
there.
check? It was just the sign that needed to be.
You just had a repost, I remember.
Yeah. And can you just
We have
come
the-
up here?
the mail.
You have that? Okay. Can you just come up here real quick? Can you just date that We're all good. Thank you.
good to go? All right, let's do this again.
My name is Michael Kost, K-O-S-T. I'm the homeowner at 11 Marie Crescent. Currently, I'm at the beginning stages of building a second floor extension to my house on the existing footprint. This required a new survey, which then revealed that my pre-existing deck is 3 feet too close to the side fence, and my pre-existing shed is 3 inches too close to the back fence. I'm requesting a variance to address these issues. Neither of these issues affect privacy for my neighbors. I've discussed this with each of them, and none of them have an objection. PVC fence hides the deck from any sightings off the street or from my neighbor, and it provides separation between the properties, and the shed shares a fence with a sump, and there's nothing back there. That's it. Thank you for your time. And
See, wasn't that easy?
yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Thank you. I can take the sign down?
Yes. You too.
The next case is case 19495 Sports Partners LLC. Location is 350 Old Northport Road in Kings Park. It's on the north side of Old Northport Road, 1,018 feet west of Indian Head Road. Property zone light industrial. The request is a variance to increase the height of a proposed building, H, from 35 feet to 62 feet. Increase the height of a proposed air structure from 35 feet to 40 feet. Increase the height of a proposed retaining wall from 6 feet to 10 feet. That's the building H wall. Increase the height of a proposed retaining wall from 6 feet to 10. That's building J wall. Reduce the minimum parking from 2,413 to 1,016 spaces. Eliminate the 9 required landscaped islands in the parking lot for proposed commercial public recreation use with outdoor athletic fields and 6 buildings. That's buildings A, B, G, H, I, and J. And an air structure. The request is also to modify condition 1 of the board's prior approval of case number 17176 to allow lighting that exceeds 18 feet in height to be set back 710 feet from R6 zoning district instead of 750 feet. And to request to eliminate condition number 4 of the board's prior approval of case number 17176, which required a 12-foot wide emergency access driveway to be constructed to 5th Avenue or 8th Avenue.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Yulia Viola on behalf of the applicant, Sir Tillman Ballin, 100 Moro Parkway.
A little slower.
My name is Yulia Viola. I'm an attorney from Sir Tillman Ballin Law Firm, 100 Moro Parkway, Hauppauge, New York, 11788, on behalf of the applicant. Yulia, it's Y-U-L-I-Y-A. As you heard from the call of the meeting, the applicant is seeking several variances and is requesting to modify 2 prior conditions of approval in connection with the previously approved commercial public recreation use consisting of 3 outdoor athletic fields, 6 buildings, and a proposed air structure. The subject site is 44.5 acres and will be developed in phases. Phase 1 will include completion of outdoor fields, 1, 2, and 3, site curbing, pavement, drainage, landscaping, fencing, and lighting. Phase 2 will include completion of buildings A, B, H, and I, and the air bubble structure. Phase 3 will include completion of building G, among other things, and phase 4 will include completion of building J. The applicant is seeking a variance to increase the height of the proposed building H from 35 feet to 62 feet. No undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by the granting of the area variance, as the board previously approved a height variance of 60 feet under BZA case number 17176 for this site, and the proposed increase of 2 feet is minimal. The benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by other feasible alternative, as the additional height is needed due to the type of the proposed building structure and the type of contemplated sports to be played inside, such as basketball courts and volleyball courts. The requested variance is not substantial, and it will have no adverse impact to the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The second variance applicant is seeking is to increase the height of a proposed air structure from 35 feet to 40 feet. The applicant submits that no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood because the proposed air structure is substantially removed from the properties to the north and properties to the east. The benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by other feasible alternative due to the type of sports contemplated in this facility, such as lacrosse, soccer, and basketball, and the height is needed for such types of sports. The applicant is also seeking a variance to increase the height of a proposed retaining wall from 6 feet to 10 feet along building H wall, and to increase the height of a proposed retaining wall from 6 feet to 10 feet along building J wall. Such variance will not produce any negative impact in the neighborhood because the retaining walls are needed to accommodate the grade change and sloping on the site. The benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by other feasible alternative given the topography of the site. It should be noted that there is a substantial grade change on site between 18 feet to 60 feet, depending on location on the site. The variance is not substantial, as the board had previously approved the height of 23 feet for the retaining wall on this site. The proposed variance will not have adverse impact on the physical conditions of the neighborhood. Additionally, the applicant is requesting a parking variance for the 1,016 stalls that are being provided, while 2,413 parking stalls are required. Such variance is needed due to the addition of a bubble facility on site, which is 28,000 feet total, and the reallocation of the square footage between buildings A, B, and I, and slightly increasing the outdoor fields. The proposed parking is adequate and will not produce undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood due to the nature of the use recreational facility. The attendance is scheduled and controlled at this facility, and the peak use will occur during limited periods of time. Many participants are expected to arrive together with families or teams, thus reducing the number of vehicles. The proposed variance will not have an adverse impact on environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Instead, the facility will provide an important community benefit that will promote public health, youth development, and community engagement. The applicant is also seeking to eliminate 9 required landscaped islands in the parking lot in order to gain 18 additional parking spaces. We are also requesting to modify condition number 1 of the board's prior approval of case number 17176 to allow lighting that exceeds 18 feet in height to be set back at least 710 feet from R6 zoning district instead of previously approved 750 feet. The closest light pole at issue to the easterly property line will be 716 feet to the center of the pole, and the closest light pole to the northerly property line, R10 district, will be 195 feet. No undesirable change will be produced to the properties to the east, as these 3 light poles at issue are far removed from the neighboring condos. These lights are separated by the parking lot and a substantial natural buffer and planted buffer from the properties to the east. The benefit sought by the applicant could not be achieved by another feasible method due to the need of providing such sport lighting to safely operate the outdoor fields. And lastly, the applicant requests to eliminate condition number 3 of the BZA case number 17176, which previously required the construction of a 12-foot wide emergency access driveway connecting to either 5th Avenue or 8th Avenue on the north side of the subject site. The board adopted that condition in 2014, and since then, the main entrance to Old Northport Road has been redesigned to provide 2 11-foot each ingress lanes and 2 11-foot each egress lanes with the raised divider. So you basically have now 48 feet total from curb to curb. The revised access configuration has also been reviewed and approved by the town fire marshal. Thank you.
I had a question on the lighting. So we're reducing the distance from 750 to 710. In the original presentation, they had done a nice job presenting the light fixtures were dark sky compliant. There was some kind of fixture that had 0 leakage onto adjacent properties. Are you still using those
It's
same
still
light
going to be
fixtures?
dark sky compliant in compliance with the town code, correct?
Okay. They're the same ones that they presented at the
Yes.
that case? Okay. Thank you.
We just changed the location.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
Just on the lighting, and you got that.
Okay, finally. Anyone else? Matt?
We didn't have any objections to the variances. I think one thing to point out, which I think was already the building height increase, they were approved to 60, so it's only a 2-foot increase. The retaining walls didn't have any objection to. I think this picture kind of shows a good idea of where that emergency access was proposed to go. It's kind of, I'm not even sure how that would have been possible. Again, I'm not an engineer, so I think it's better to kind of keep that area the way it is, keep whatever landscaping is, existing or proposed there. And Yulia mentioned the width of the existing access. It was also reviewed by the fire marshal, and they were okay with it. And the light pole distance, the 750 to 710 is pretty minimal. I think a 710 foot setback is pretty substantial still. And that's pretty much one question I had about the air structure. Is that seasonal or is that year round?
Permanent.
Okay.
It's going to be permanent.
Okay, that's it?
Yes.
Sabrina?
No comments, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this application? Come on up.
Good evening. My name's Joseph Tiska Jr., T-Y-S-K-A. I live on 154 8th Avenue. I just had a few concerns. I'm not 100% sure of everything that's being changed, but when I'm in my backyard on the weekend, I can hear the yelling and screaming at Flynn Field, which is over a mile away from my house. This is literally going to be in our backyard. I just wanted to know if there was going to be sufficient sound barriers, and also concerned about the lighting being moved with the, because there are a lot of young people in that neighborhood, and it'll, interfere with their sleeping if their bedroom is lit up. So I just, lighting and the sound are two concerns. And the emergency access road, I'm okay with that because I don't believe that we need any more traffic in that area, so I'm okay with that one.
Okay, so we'll have them come back up and address your concerns.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to be heard? Come on up.
Seth Catandela, Catandela. I live at 48 Marvin Drive. I'm across the street from him. Kind of have the same concerns. I know this isn't about putting up a sound barrier, but that would be nice if there was something there. And I was kind of confused. It said on what you guys said before, there's 6 buildings. We thought originally there was 1 building and the 1 bubble.
I believe the application was always the same. They just added the bubble, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 5 buildings.
5 buildings and the bubble?
I think so. We'll bring them up.
I'm
and
just
have
more
them
curious.
clarify.
I'm more curious about it. And where are those situated? Are those behind Fifth Avenue, close
can
to
you see that,
the
Keith?
condos? I couldn't tell if there was the street was written there.
So I think where you guys are is to the top of the page. That's Marvin up there, right?
Yeah, they didn't say what's over here. I know I
That's
can see the
future.
fields. The fields are all done.
There's nothing there right now. Nothing is proposed there right now.
Oh, so they don't know what they're putting there?
So you can see the buildings closest. That's the,
Yeah, and those are the only lights they're talking about that are going higher?
I believe the lights are around the fields and around the parking lot.
But the lights that they're proposed changing the setback, because the lights here are already up.
Those, the ones they're changing, I guess, are the ones in the parking lot?
They're the athletic ones. The athletic.
The ones that they want to go to 62 feet.
Yeah, the athletic fields.
They didn't have the height.
Correct.
Those are, but they're already up.
Yeah, so they just changed a few of them that were supposed to be 750 feet. They're now
10 or 16.
No, I was just-
716 feet.
Okay.
But they're the same dark sky compliant lights that are not supposed to bleed into the neighborhood. But we'll have them come up.
The ones that face down. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right. Yeah, my daughter plays soccer, so.
We'll bring them back up.
I know. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to be heard? No? You want to come back up and just address their concerns?
Can I just show where those 3 light poles are?
It was 3 light poles, right?
It's only 3, yes. So they identified 1, 2.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was the one that they were already.
Just try not to talk from the audience.
The closest to the light, at least 710 feet to the property line, to the property.
I was just curious. I didn't understand right.
Okay. And as far as lighting, I guess spillage on the neighboring properties, they're very far removed.
Can you come back up to the podium and address the board instead of the audience?
So there will be no light spillage to the neighboring properties. The 3 lights that are at issue, they're very far removed from the properties, 710 feet from the neighboring property. And as far as noise and additional lighting shedding or spilling to the properties, I guess, to the north, we also have substantial buffers with natural vegetation where we preserved all of the trees. We have a substantial buffer on the north and substantial buffer to the east. I think the natural vegetation, the trees that we preserved are about 100 feet of natural trees. We're also proposing to plant 1 row of additional trees. I think it's 129, as far as I remember, trees as per our landscape plan. So we don't anticipate neighbors seeing anything or even hearing anything. And lastly, I just want to stress that there is a significant change in grade. So certain areas are higher and certain areas are lower on site. So I believe the neighbors are slightly on higher elevation, and then our side slopes down.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Need a motion to close the hearing?
Just one further question. I know we spoke about this in the past about the time frame for the bathroom facilities. Do you have like an idea of when?
So
I know that was a concern that was brought up.
Yes. So building I are the bathrooms that we're proposing in phase 2, which will be completed this year. But we also provided the town with the pictures and technical elements of the temporary bathrooms that will be placed on site prior to the opening of any fields. But bathrooms in building I will be completed which are permanent bathrooms in a permanent building, which will be completed sometime this year.
Did building want bathrooms before?
Building I.
During phase 1.
I thought that was one of the concerns, is that the town was concerned that they didn't want this facility operating without functioning bathrooms.
So we are providing temporary bathrooms. We send the town the pictures and what it's gonna look like. I'm not sure if you guys received this. It was sent to a lot of people at the town,
Right.
including Peter Hans. And that's our temporary solution until building I is constructed at some point this year. But there will be plenty of bathrooms, and they're not like a porta-potty bathrooms. They are really nice bathrooms that look like regular bathrooms within a building.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
All right, I need a motion to close. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. You said that the closest light to the R10 district is going to be 195?
195.
So the planning advisory report conditions it at 100 feet?
Yeah, in the memo I sent, I basically took the condition from the last one and just swapped 750 with 710. So the original condition was 100 foot.
So if we're going to modify the condition, we'll modify it to 195?
I mean, I'm not going to object to that, so it's,
Okay.
if that's something you want.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if that's what the plan shows, we might as well just have it match.
So it's not 710, it'll be 1?
No, it'll be 710 and 195.
Oh, okay.
All right, now we need a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Is that it?
So, yeah, this is the other 521 property management that Vinny kind of wanted to keep active, so they did request an adjournment. Yeah. Yeah, it's case 19288. He submitted a letter tonight.
Okay, so adjourned.
Yeah.
And that's it for hearings?
That's it for new.
So, case 19486, Christine Brunquell. You guys want to have some discussion, as there's some confusion on this one? No?
No, I don't have a problem with it if it's going to be 50 by 100.
That's how I saw it. I didn't see any issue with it.
So they have property that's 50 by 300. It's a R10 zone, so
So
technically.
they have property that's 100 feet deep, 300 feet wide.
Right.
Right.
So, right now, one of the tax parcels, it used to be a 50 by 100. I guess in recent years, they changed that 50 by 100 to look like that. It's 100 by 100. I guess that doesn't go well with health department, so he's asking to get the 50 by 100 foot back for health department purposes.
Correct.
But his ultimate plan is across the entire 300 foot wide property to have two 150s, which
Right.
would be 15.
So I think that the board isn't concerned about the approval for the bigger one. It's how do we word it, because we wouldn't want to approve a 50 by
Right.
100. So the health department, which does not like when we do that,
Right, you don't want to put a condition that contradicts, I get what you're saying. I don't know. Do you have any insight?
Then I'm saying,
it's adding.
If he says on the record what his proposal is, can we?
proposal, what he proposed.
He submitted a plan to the record, right? That shows.
so he did, so why don't we just
Okay.
approve it as per the submitted plans?
Yeah, I just don't know whether health is gonna be, that's, I mean, it is what it is. We can only do what we can do, so.
Okay, so you want to do that, Adrian?
so this is just gonna be the same.
Approve it as as
Okay,
per the
okay.
plans that were submitted.
Okay. On case 19486, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Case is 19487, Nicole Hildebrand.
On case 19487, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19488, Kyle and Michaela Nigro.
On case 19488, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Case 19489, we have a type 2 with comments?
Yes. Our seeker is based on our understanding that there are no additional bedrooms currently being added to the existing one-bedroom temporary living quarters within the existing three-bedroom single-family dwelling. Otherwise, an increase in the number of bedrooms may require Department of Health approval. That's just for the record.
Okay.
So case 19489, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, case 19490 and 19491 are those two homes on Carl Avenue.
Okay. On case 19490, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second on 490.
Want the condition with the garages?
Yes, I think we do, actually, Adrian.
Do we?
That if you put a condition on it, remember they said that the houses are going to go with the garages go with the houses. So the concern is that if they,
Can't use commercial use.
Oh, all right, condition with no
the
commercial.
houses, the garages are approved
Garages.
for an ancillary use to the existing structures,
Yeah.
right? Or accessory use.
Resident shall be used for
Residential.
accessory residential use, something
Okay.
along those lines.
You got that? You want me to write it down?
Okay, with the condition that no commercial use should be used for the garages, and it will be only used for residential,
Accessory to the
Accessory.
accessory to the apartments.
accessory to the apartments.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that was 490.
Case 19491, make a motion to approve the application as presented with the same condition.
Nice and easy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19492, Thomas Arcease.
On case 19492, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19493, David Benfield, we need a secra.
Yeah, on case 19493, I'll make a motion to approve the unlisted neg deck.
Second.
All right, motion and a second on the secra, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, secra carries 5-0. Now on the merits.
On the merits, on case 19493, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19494, Sandro Femia.
On case 19494, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Case 1-18545, 521 Property Management, we don't have a secret, correct?
We do have a comment for the board. The consideration of minor rewording of the previous decision of February 11th, 2025 would not require a subsequent separate secret determination.
So we can act on this one?
Correct.
Okay, you guys want to act on case 1-18545? Was there any
Okay.
questions, or,
I don't have any questions.
no?
Nope.
All right.
I said we didn't have findings prepared, and I don't know that it's technically a rewording
What is
of
this
what
saying?
they're asking for, so it's up to you. I mean, if you're comfortable with that.
Does planning feel like we need findings?
There was no objection.
I don't think so. I mean, if you feel that, I know the code, as long as you feel that it's a benefit to the community.
Well, this is a certificate of existing use, so they stated on the record that they had the previous approval for an office from this board.
Right.
They also stated on the record that they had never abandoned
Right.
the use as a accessory office use. So I personally don't think we need findings. I think we don't.
If you're gonna do it for office use, no,
For-
you can, I mean, I think it's fine if you're doing it for
And the
office.
town does not differentiate medical versus, that's a health department thing. So if we just don't address it and just say,
So I think when the original, when the original code was, when it was changed, not residential, retail and office, it's all just office.
same. Okay? Does that sound fair? Okay.
Okay. On
Just the LWRP conditions should be applied. Yep.
Okay, got it. So you're just gonna,
Yeah, on case 1-18545, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented with the understanding that we adopt all the LWRP conditions.
Second.
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries with conditions, 5-0. Case 19452, Mike Zelen, you have comments, Sabrina?
Just that the requested variances to legalize an existing 540 square foot deck with a 5-foot tall enclosure may impose on adjacent residences and impact community character.
Okay. And we had a letter from the HOA, which,
Yeah, I didn't take a look at it, but if you
Yeah.
read it and felt
I
it
read it,
was-
all it says is that they are deferring their jurisdiction to the town of
To the
Smithtown,
town?
which is
Okay.
what they always say. but-
Right.
And this is in Tara,
Correct.
Yes.
and a lot of the neighbors have the same.
Yeah, if you look at
wooden
an
deck.
aerial,
Yep.
it's, I mean, it's hard to tell exactly how many feet off an aerial, but to me, they all have
Yeah,
decks coming out.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
On case 19452, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19477, Louis Matera is adjourned to April 14th. Case 19478, we're going to wait for comments from the town engineer.
Yeah.
Case 19482, Michael Coast.
On case 19482, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, case 19495, Prospect Sports LLC.
On case 19495.
Oh, we need a secret, sorry. Secret.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the unlisted neg deck.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries on the secra. Now on the merits.
On the merits, on case 19495, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
No, you have those conditions.
And with the condition, I have it written down, yeah. The only lighting that may exceed 18 feet in height shall be at least 710 feet from the R6 district and 195 feet from the R10 district.
All right,
Second.
motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries with conditions 5-0. Now, 19288, 521 Property Management has been adjourned. No date.
I mean, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't withdraw it, but
Want to deny that one?
you
We'll consider it withdrawn for now.
sure.
All right. Case 19433. We heard it on November 18th.
I was here.
We got our list of who was here.
Yeah, I have a list. November 18th.
Yeah.
Adrian, Tony Tanzi, Savaretti, Villante. So, 4 of you can not.
Four of us can vote. My notes are it was no big deal.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
Want to make a motion?
Sure. On case 19433, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Hold on, stuff this guy back in there. Case 19460 Broadway National Group LLC. We heard it on January 27th. Huh. I was not here for that one.
I can't imagine.
Well, I'm going to steer clear of this one then, since I don't have my notes on it.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah. Oh, no, someone else got to make a motion. You were the chair.
I was the chair. Does anybody know how to make a motion?
It's very difficult.
Someone else make a motion?
Yeah, I'll do it. What I gotta say?
He doesn't know.
Oh, you wrote that down for me.
See what I go through?
You gotta do a secret first, you know how to.
I'll make a motion.
Just make a motion to adopt the secret.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt the secret on case number 19460.
Okay,
We need a second.
I second.
okay.
Adrian, you're the chair, so now you got to vote.
Yeah, now he needs to make a motion on the merits.
You didn't vote? Oh, did you? I'm out.
Everybody, all right.
We gotta vote, don't we?
Yeah.
3-0?
Okay.
Yes.
3-0. I guess you weren't here, right?
No, I was here.
He was here.
I was here
Okay.
for
All right, so you approved it 3-0?
4.
4-0?
4-0, yeah.
You were all here, it was January.
Oh,
Okay. On case number 19460, I make a motion to accept as presented.
that's okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Approve.
Do I have a second?
Yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
A nice job.
Oh.
I believe, was that the last one?
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to DEW because we had all of our secrets